Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled.
I'm Batman.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me! Who's got you?
Dooby-dooby-doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Wonder Woman! Wonder Woman!
Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
I'm Conor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. I was born in 1518 in the village of Glenfinnan on the shores of Loch Shiel. Now I am immortal.
I'm Captain Kirk.
I'm a Thompson. But probably not the one you expect.
Welcome everyone to a special Geek This Week presentation, and this is the X-Files panel from Pensacon 2017 at the Saenger Theater in Pensacola, Florida. This is the X-Files panel with supporting cast. 5 supporting cast members are recurring actors from the X-Files, which includes Mitch Pileggi, who played Special Agent Walter S. Skinner. Also, Stephen Williams, Mr. X, one of the popular ones. Also, Nicholas Lee, who played Alex Krycek, I hope I pronounced that right, the character made his first appearance in the season 2 episode, Sleepless. Of course, William B. Davis, who's best known as the Cigarette Man or the Smoking Man in the X-Files, and also several other actors. So sit back and enjoy. This is completely uninterrupted. This was one of the panels I made sure that there was no interruptions, no problems with the camera or anything like that. So there was no problems. So we have the full panel for you to enjoy. I hope you do. I think it was an interesting panel. A lot of people there. X-Files were very popular recently, coming back to TV. So this is going to be very, very enjoyable. So sit back and enjoy this X-Files. Also, Brian Thompson, who played Alien Bounty Hunter in the episode Colony and Endgame, and several more episodes in the X-Files. So please sit back and enjoy this special presentation. This is the X-Files panel from Pensacon 2017 at the Saenger Theater in Pensacola, Florida. Enjoy.
We've got a great group of X-Files guests here to talk to you guys today. My name is Julio Diaz. I'm the entertainment editor of the Pensacola News Journal. I will be the moderator for the panel. We'll start out with me asking a couple of questions to the guys, and then we'll let you guys take questions at either end of the room. So feel free to line up. I see some of you lining up with the microphones already. That's great. Keep your questions polite. Please don't do anything like ask if I can have a hug or things like that. Because there's a lot of you and they can't hug everybody. Although I think Stephen Williams might try. So I'd like to go ahead and start introducing the panel. First up, a man whose career started with a small role in The Terminator. You'll also know him from such roles as Werewolf. He's played multiple roles in Star Trek, and he's actually the only person to ever play 2 speaking villain roles in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. From the X-Files, you know him as the Alien Bounty Hunter. Please welcome Brian Thompson. stage next, we have a man who made his debut in the classic movie Cooley High, followed it with an even more classic movie, The Blues Brothers, one of my personal favorites. He's also been in movies like Twilight Zone, the movie, and Jason Goes to Hell, and he also had a very long run on 21 Jump Street. On The X-Files, he is Mr. X. Please welcome Stephen Williams. We keep you coordinated. Coming next to the stage, a gentleman who is known for his roles on shows like The Commish and Highlander the series, and of course Kyle XY, but you guys know him best as one of the most memorable characters from the X-Files, Alice Krycek. Please welcome Nicholas Lee.
Those questions polite. Bye. Just
Okay, if he's okay with it, I'm okay with it. Next to the stage, a gentleman who's been in movies like Dead Zone and It. He's also known for his long role in The Continuum and guest roles in shows like Stargate SG-1, and he was actually the mayor of Smallville on Smallville. But you guys know him best as the cigarette-smoking man. Please welcome William B. Davis. Last but not least, a gentleman you'll remember for his very memorable role in the movie Shocker, as well as films like Basic Instinct. He's also got a role in the next Transformers movie, which is coming soon, and well known for his role on Stargate Atlantis. But you guys know him as Assistant Director Walter Skinner. Please welcome Mitch Pileggi. You're much better looking than me. If you want to claim to be me, that's fine.
I turned it around. It's the same thing on both sides. I'm not being clever, but obviously I'm not. How y'all doing today? Surprised Stephen hasn't already taken over the panel. He tried. He started.
Trying to be real cool today, Mitch.
God bless you.
Who was it last time we did a panel? Who was it that said, I'm never sitting next to Stephen Williams?
I think it was me. I got it.
I took that into account when I arranged the cards before you guys came.
It was me. Thank you, Leo.
So, gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying Pensacon so far. Welcome to Pensacola.
Thank you. Thank you.
I wanted to start out by asking you, with the X-Files being so centered on the supernatural and unexplained phenomenon and government conspiracies, before you got the show, did any of you have an interest in those kind of topics?
I have. I've always been interested in that. I've always been a fan of sci-fi and supernatural stuff, and I've had a few bizarre experiences, which I'm not going to go into. I've been LSD in the 60s. Yeah, so I've always been drawn to it.
Yeah, and I'm a total believer. Who was it? Was it Shakespeare that said there are more things in heaven and earth?
Jim Dove in your philosophy, yes.
Shakespeare was an alien.
Yeah, I'm a believer in everything. Yeah.
When I was in high school, we had a public speaking contest, and I actually spoke on the subject of flying saucers. I read this book that said how there were conspiracies and how they were really real, and I'm embarrassed ever since, because I know that book was just a lot of nonsense, and while I've maintained some interest, I'm a complete skeptic on the subject.
I have always been a fan of, sort of, I don't want to say dry. Public speaking. Smart sci-fi. Sometimes it's sort of dry sci-fi, but smart, well put together sci-fi and genre stuff. And so getting the chance to be on The X-Files was a beautiful experience, because that's what that show is, just smart thinking versus genre sci-fi.
And how many of you read William Corso's book? He was the Rear Admiral who said that he saw little gray men preserved in a tank. You guys know, no one's read that book?
It's a big, apparently a nonfiction book. I kind of want to take his word for it. And then also, since so much of our defense budget is unaccounted for, there's definitely a lot of conspiracies out there.
Well, it's interesting, Mr. Davis, you're the only skeptic on the panel. Did nothing in your experience on the show rattle that skepticism at all?
Well, ultimately the reverse, because I mean, what happened for me on the show is there were, I would keep meeting a lot of fans who don't really understand how our business works, or at least how it works for those of us who are actors in the trenches, as opposed to the A-lists. And they assumed that I had chosen to be on this show because I believed in this stuff, because I was interested in it. And they would come and they would invite me to go on skywalks, and they would bring me special information about Area 51 and Roswell and so on. And finally I said to one of them, I said, I actually don't really believe in this stuff. And they said, well, why not? And I said, well, the obligation is on you to prove that these things exist, not on me to prove that they don't. And they said, oh, but we have. Well, that stopped me, because I didn't know what proof they had presented or had felt that they had discovered. And that led me on a whole fascinating journey where I found an organization called PsyCop, the Committee for the Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal, and I found a whole range of organizations with preeminent scientists attached to them that actually study these things and bring scientific methods to bear on these issues. And it's been a fascinating experience for me, but I am still a skeptic.
Nick, do you remember when we were in Spain and we did a thing with a bunch of Spanish journalists, and they came to us and they weren't even, it was their thoughts that what the X-Files was preparing the public for the soon-to-be colonization by aliens. I mean, and these are journalists. These were and it was like a whole room full of them, and it was.
I do remember that. Now we had a guy that drove us around England in a Range Rover to go to a couple of things over in the UK. This was years ago, and he told us a story. He told us a story of a spaceship that landed in his backyard. And that he wasn't sleeping, he wasn't dreaming, there was green and red and yellow lights, it was there, and then it was gone. This guy was convinced, he was completely convinced, and he didn't sort of throw this information around, he sort of told us quietly, but this guy was convinced that something had landed in his backyard.
On the skeptic theory, with so many recording devices in our hands, as the years go by and we don't have video evidence of these things, I think the skeptic theory is beginning to get more weight on its side of the scale.
Oh, hogwash.
However, when you look at how much we know about the bottom of the ocean, how little we know about the bottom of the ocean, and relate that to how much we know about what's going on outside of our own planet, it's almost zero.
Jim Cameron knows about the bottom of the ocean.
There are theories too. There are theories that the aliens may be coming from the bottom of the ocean as opposed to space.
Have you seen some of the shit down there, man? There's some crazy stuff swimming around.
Has anyone taken you gentlemen out to Pensacola Beach yet to see the spaceship on Pensacola Beach?
No.
We do have, there's actually a famous house on Pensacola Beach that is built as a spaceship.
Really?
They actually don't let us out.
So we'll arrange dinner for us there tonight.
We can make that happen, sure.
Okay.
There actually were a lot of UFO sightings in this area at one time, so I think that kind of spurred the folks that owned that house to go that route. But this area has been a hotbed for the unexplained.
How far away is my geographical ignorance, how far was the Bermuda? Is that quite a ways away?
We're sitting in it right now.
We've all just disappeared.
Is that the other way? Okay, pretend like I didn't ask that.
Before we start taking questions from the audience, I just want to ask one more from you folks. All of your roles definitely evolved over the course of the series. Wondering if you could just take a moment to talk about where you were at the start of the series and where you came to. If you ever saw any of those changes coming, how much you knew in advance, that sort of thing.
It's a good question. You know, I started, I was only supposed to be there for 3 episodes while Jillian was pregnant. And that turned into, you know, whatever it was, 6.5 years. And I started, you know, clean shaven in a suit, straight posture and square as could be, and ended up hanging from 17 floors with black oil in my eyes and, you know, trapped at the bottom of a missile silo. You know, and you know, it was like Christmas every time you open the script. At least it was for me, because I never knew what I was going to be doing, running out of exploding cars, and you know, like it was an adventure. It truly, truly was. I had so much fun doing that.
How lucky are you and I that Jillian got pregnant?
Exactly.
No shit, right? Because that's why they brought us in, because they had to put her in a coma for a while because she was having a baby, and so we both got these great jobs as a result of that. And it's like,
it's so funny, eh? You get a job, and then something goes that way, then something goes this way, then something goes that way, and the next thing you know, here I am in Pensacon talking to you guys.
For me, first of all, I was not aware of the show X-Files before. I wasn't a big television watcher, so I wasn't aware of the show, but a good friend of mine was, and he was just so excited for me. So when I get this role, I don't know how to play X, right? I have no clue what to do because it was very quick. But then I said to myself, the man is called X, so let's do it as ambiguous as you possibly can. And you guys watched, I just always just delivered a line and tried to let the audience figure out who the hell X was. Because I never knew who X was. So to this day, I have no clue what it was about. And the one thing I want to add is I was so sad when they killed him off, because the writers of this show were very, very creative people. I mean, just a bevy of creative people. And there was so much richness left to explore about X. I mean, we never knew whether he was a bad guy or a good guy. We never knew what his agenda was, the side he was on. So all of that stuff was left unsaid about him. So he's still a mystery, as far as I'm concerned. But it has been a wonderful, wonderful experience.
of course, Steven thought that when he first got his first script and saw his characters, and he thought, oh, they made an episode, they made a series about me.
Yeah, and that X-rated thing. You know.
Well, I'll follow Steve, because my reaction was the same one as the X-Files when I had the interview. I had just come back from filming Dragonheart. I'd been in Europe for 5 months, and the 2 months before that I spent windsurfing in Greece. I had no idea. They had told me that it was a 2-parter, 2 episodes, good, and that by reading the first script where the character didn't say shit, that I should not judge the second script because the character is going to be developed in. That he's not just a guy walking around stabbing people in the neck. Now, on their word, and they told me that I couldn't read the second script yet because it hadn't been written. So on the first day of getting to Vancouver, I didn't know anybody, didn't know the show. I got the idea, I said, you know, that second AD doesn't look like he's completely up on his job. So I walked up and I said, hey, do you got your copy of the second script? Because, yeah, I said, I don't have mine with me. Okay, so right away, I knew I'd been lied to. So it shows up. It's my second day on the show. We worked the night before, and there'd been this big blow-up over how long my hair should be cut. And we delayed filming, and I felt like crap anyway. I got the script, I read it. He was just a guy walking around stabbing people. So I called my agent and I said, we've been lied to. Get me out of the show. And Bob Goodwin, who was a producer up in Vancouver, BC, who had nothing to do with my casting because he was a guy in BC, he shows up and said, Bob, I've been lied to. I'm not a prop for some shows' violence. I was told, I was promised a character, I was told the script hadn't been written yet, and what is this? This is a script, irrefutable evidence that someone's lying. And Bob's like, well, God, I don't know anything. Anyway, I don't know. So I said, writing out of the show. We had a fight. Nobody likes me. It was the only time in my life I've asked to be written out of the show. I said, just let me out of here. I don't like it. I don't want this thing. Because it all gone south. And Bob comes back to me in an hour with 6 pages with the scene with David Duchovny where he asked about his sister, which tied me to the mythology of the X-Files. It tied me to the whole disappearance. And they say that they were planning this all along. I don't know if that's true or not. But it lead, and then I'll end this long-winded story. We flew home, came back, got to the airport to film the 2nd episode. And I get to the airport and the ticket counter says, the ticket counter says, congratulations. I'm like, for what? She said, well, you just won the Emmy for Best Dramatic Series. I'm like, what? Did the X-Files run this? I had never seen an episode. I didn't know anything about it except I had a fight, and then they wrote some lines. I was the best. I was like, after that, I just went.
Are you all disillusioned yet? What goes on in our business?
Well, I don't know if I can top that. Probably not. But as some of you know, I never even got the part that I wanted. I auditioned for the senior FBI agent in the first in the pilot, and I didn't get it. So I got this dumb part with no lines. But you know, a gig is a gig, and I was getting paid scale, I think. So why not? So I'm doing this role. Oh, and then there was something about I have to smoke these cigarettes. All right, I'd quit smoking 17 years before, so I figured I could safely smoke a cigarette. So I did, and then time went by, and they actually called me for another episode with also no lines, but smoking again. Okay, fine. Then I was sitting at home and thinking, I wish they'd call me for that X-Files show. So after that, I switched to these herbal cigarettes, so I didn't smoke those anymore. And then a strange thing happened. Jillian got pregnant.
That's a conspiracy theory I can believe.
So they needed a story. And so I was handy. So the cigarette smoking man became involved in this long conspiracy, this long mythology, the story. And the part, as we know, grew and grew and grew. And I died, and then I came back to life. And then I died, and then I came back to life. And then I died, and then I came back to life. And I'm delighted to be back to life, except the problem now is, in order to be back to life, I sit in a makeup chair for, I kid you not, 4.5 hours in order to be ready. But it's still, it's great to be somehow still back on the show.
Nobody takes a cruise missile in the face like you do.
I took a cruise missile in the face on Buffy.
That's right.
Yeah, I did.
Steve took a missile in the face, but you're gonna have to find that online.
And it wasn't his face.
And it wasn't a missile.
I'm not following this. Could you explain it?
Missile is a euphemistic term.
It is now.
Did you want to talk a little bit about skimming?
Oh yeah, you know, he was a bad guy at first, then he got better. You guys know what happened.
Okay,
well, we'll go ahead and start taking questions from the audience. Then, if any of you that aren't already lined up have questions, please feel free to line up at the microphone at either side of the auditorium. I'm going to start with this young gentleman over here, and then we'll go over here.
So, I've been watching X-Files not for too long. I started watching it whenever a friend of mine had said they had finally started airing it again with the season 10. And I was like, what's X-Files? I'm like, you haven't seen it? It's about aliens. Because I have a massive love for space. I want to be, actually, when I grow up, I have a career hoping to be part of NASA. Cool.
Word on the street is you're trying to get rid of it.
And it was that show. I really like it. One of the episodes that really confused me was the one about the invisible guy who could emit radiation off of him at random times and burn people's skin. But
we have no record.
You do know the system of Q&A, right? Would you like to join us?
A question has a question mark at the end.
So my question, I was going to ask you.
I still have that weapon from the show.
My question was, how was it that you are, like, you're with the it's hard to make the words.
It's all right.
It's okay, they won't bite you. Yeah, it's hard. It's cool.
I believe
how
this
is
is question mark constipation. Who started with who, what, when, where, why?
So, how is it?
How? Okay.
How is
I wasn't working with David and Jillian.
How do you all feel for auditioning for a show that, like, you're auditioning for a show mainly about aliens?
Yeah.
Wow.
Somebody shoot him!
Do you want to take a second and launch yourself and we'll...
How was it auditioning for a show like that? First of all, how old are you?
12.
See, this is what is so amazing about this show is that we've got a kid here who's 12 years old watching the show. Yeah. And the show starts in the product that they put out. It's very, to us, it's awesome that we have that type of fandom, that you exemplify our fandom, and we appreciate that. The auditioning was great.
We'll go over here.
Hi, my name is Mandy.
Hi, Mandy.
I'm with Mitch Pileggi, and we have a question from one of our Twitter followers, Melanie at Dr. Duchovny, and this is for everybody. In the event of a zombie apocalypse, what would you do, and do you think you would survive?
In the event of a zombie apocalypse, what would you do and how would you survive?
All ass. Just all ass.
I'd survive. Next.
I'm going to go out and get a bunch of hot sauce and join the team.
I have a little house on a 48-acre island that is surrounded by water and is only boat access. So I'm going to blow up my dock, and my beautiful Crystal and I are going to go over there, and I'm going to buy a bunch of guns. And
This is taking this seriously.
I'm a little behind a lot of kind of modern. But isn't a zombie apocalypse an oxymoron? I mean, aren't the zombies already dead?
I'm gonna go hang out with Nick and Kristen.
Okay, I'm going to stay on this side for a little bit because these folks were lined up first, and then we'll come back over to this side. Next, please.
No, I got to follow that. My question is for William B. Davis. The cigarette smoking man was my favorite character on the show.
Okay, next question.
You don't really mean that.
After some obvious reasons. But I saw him, and there was a question coming. I saw him as sort of a great man whose greatness was twisted into evil by what he considered to be necessity. And with a little flicker of goodness that was never completely extinguished, which is why he took care of Mulder and did some other positive things, very few, but some. And I was wondering, as the man who played him, how did you see the character?
Well, I've always tried to explain when I have a chance to talk to some fans of the show. It's always amazed me that the fans of the show really don't understand the show. I mean, there's so many fans, you would think they would finally realize that the cigarette-smoking man is the hero. And Mulder is the villain. It makes perfect sense to me, and that's how I always believe it.
We'll take one more on this side, and then we're going to come over here.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, sorry, I thought you were going that way.
You're on the
Okay, my name is Tita, and I'm from the Mitch Pileggi, which is a fan club for Mitch Pileggi. We pledge our allegiance to Mitch. For the past few days, we've been taking questions off Twitter, like Maggie did. So this question comes from this guy named Mitch, and he wants to know how many teaspoons in the car.
One is volume and one is liquid, I think. So there's, you can't do that.
You know, I'm sorry, Mitch.
That was a stupid question.
I'm a baby boomer.
You
Where's the Bermuda fucking triangle?
That should have been a question for me, the baby boomer, because speaking of grams. Just kidding.
That's where that question came from.
Did they have a few of those on the set of the Blues Brothers?
Oh, let me tell you.
We're going to come over to this side now.
Hello, my name's Jesse. I came all the way from Pensacola, Florida to see you guys.
All right.
I'm jet lagged, so stick with me here. So, with all your fictional expertise and knowledge in Russian intrigue and intelligence and government intrigue and conspiracy, this is for all of you. How many times were you approached by the Trump administration to be an advisor? And why did you say no?
I'm just mixed Canadian, so why didn't take that?
Ryan, you can take your shoes off if you need to count more times. Sandals, excuse me.
The question, Steve, for those of us who were not on the Blues Brothers movie, is how many times have you been asked by the Trump administration to be an advisor?
Who's Trump? I'm refusing to even acknowledge that man is. He is not just acting presidential. He may do something fantastic, but he could start with acting presidential.
Knowledge, though. I mean, it did happen.
Oh, he's awesome. He's awesome as a businessman, as a guy.
All right, let's talk about the X-Files.
Okay.
We're going to get the Ghostbuster over here, please.
What was, if any, your favorite monster of the week?
Yeah. For sure. I love Home. I love it. It's so sick.
Actually, you know what's interesting about that episode, though, is how much times have changed. Because when that was first broadcast, it seemed to me, it wasn't just me, that many of us were upset, horrified, really hated it. It was just too macabre. But now, as television has gone in the way that it's gone, with more and more horror movies and the whole horror genre, now people look at home as rather benign now. And think, oh yeah, that's my favorite episode.
At the time, I thought it was so sick.
Listen, when they rolled her up, no arms and no legs,
I was like, yeah, right. And when they're driving driving down in that convertible Cadillac with Johnny Mathis.
Joe,
I thought this is genius.
And I was a big Johnny Mathis fan up until then.
Listen, you know what's one of the great things about this show is that they did the first, for sure, 3 seasons maybe, with almost, I mean, relatively very little money. And it all came out of their brains, and it all came out of their ingenuity and hard work by a lot of people, not just the guys in the writer's room, but a huge crew as well. And you know, that's a beautiful thing when you've got a show that only to me, the show, the more money they got, the less exciting it became. But those stories were so good, so smart. That's what's going to make this show. That's why this 12-year-old's still watching it.
We'll go to the gentleman in blue over here, please.
My name is Chris. I live northwest of Tampa, Florida. I want to get a little off to another genre. I know one of you served in, was cast in some episodes in the Star Trek genre, and 2 of you, I believe, was in the Stargate genre. Can you briefly describe your experiences?
I had a spaceship.
What I loved about, I did a character called General Badrine in Stargate. And the thing that I loved most about it, you know, because of Jump Street, Peter DeLuise had gone over to Stargate as a writer/producer. I always thought Peter DeLuise was the most talented person in the cast. And he actually wrote 3 episodes for me and directed me. We only did 2 of them. But he directed me in 2 of the episodes that he wrote. So that was my Stargate experience. Besides, we were all like kind of family. The Richard Dean Anderson and all of us who shot in Vancouver. You know, the show was kind of intermixed and was family. But that was my most exciting thing to watch Peter as a young man, because that kid was only 17 when we started Jump Street. But to watch him grow like that to a point where he could write and direct, you know, for another cast member that was my exciting Stargate experience.
You know, the first episode that I did of Atlantis, Peter directed, and I was like, it was great meeting him. I was a fan of his, and working with him as a director was sweet. He was great.
He was righteous.
Yeah, I really liked him.
Knows his business, but he's a show business family, you know.
And he drives a Tesla, and so does his wife. If that's relevant.
If you drive a Tesla, is it cool?
It's very cool, yeah.
Looks like a spaceship inside.
Hey, Phil, I drive a Tesla.
You drive a Tesla?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, great.
We have 2 electric cars.
Excuse us, we'll be back.
And so he is better looking, that's true. But the 5th character that I played on the Star Trek series caused me the greatest heartfelt moment. Short story, you're going to be relieved. Having been a kid watching the original Star Trek series, we grew up on a dead-end road in the middle of the woods on one of those TVs that was, you know, had a wooden case with the rabbit ears on the top. You know, the static bringing in the black and white. We didn't get to watch in color. And then that was the only time I did get my own spaceship. And I blew a take with a very simple line because I said, "Bring us up to warp, set a course for home." And I blipped when I said home because to have left Washington State and come all the way from the original series to be standing at my own helm and say set a course for home, it was one of the most settling moments that I've ever had as an actor.
Mr. Davis, did you want to speak about your Stargate experience to finish the question?
Only 3 hours in the makeup chair for Stargate.
Okay, we're going to go to this gentleman over here.
Hi, my name is Warren. I'm from Gainesville, Florida.
Hey, Warren.
This is a question for you, Mr. Davis. One of the things that kind of makes the cigarette smoking man such a compelling villain is how, especially as the series goes on, he tries to justify the various things that he does, the schemes he's engaged in. And so I wanted to ask you, as the actor behind the character, what did you find most redeeming about the cigarette smoking man?
it's a curious question in a way, because you're asking me to make a moral judgment about the character. And as an actor, I don't do that. I can't do that. I have to see the world as the character sees the world. And from that point of view, almost everything I do is redeemable. It just isn't for you. But having said that, I did, I use the term loosely, write an episode called On Me, in which I did try to show that there was another side to the character. And that stemmed in part from his relationship to Scully. And somehow through that, there was some glimmer of something. He had an opportunity in that story to take on the power that would destroy the world. And he threw it in the lake so that no one would have that power. So, well, there was something, perhaps, a little redemptive.
Thank you. Damn, that was artistically intellectual.
Of course, you have a book about your experiences on the show as well, Mr. Davis.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes, at my table there's a book called Where There's Smoke, ... which is a memoir of my life. It's not all of it X-Files, but a good chunk of it is. And it's the whole story of my background, where I tell far too much about my life, so I really shouldn't have written it. But, and you can get an autographed copy of it if you would like.
We'll go to the young lady over here.
My name is Jamie Ellis, and I'm actually a NASA and Jet Propulsion Laboratory Source Ambassador representing Mobile, Alabama. I had a question for NASA's not going anywhere. I wanted to ask what some of you guys are skeptical about alien life. Well, NASA has future missions to help colonize Mars, put humans on Mars. What are some of your thoughts on that? It's for everyone.
Soon, please.
You know, there's a whole other thing to this, for me anyway, is whether you are a believer in the evolutionary theory or the creationist theory. I think you have to start with that before we start talking about if there is other life. You know, because if we believe in God and that whole creationist theory, then we've got a whole nother bag of stuff to deal with.
Well, they actually are looking for other life underneath Saturn's moons and Jupiter's moons because they have water in the ocean, so that's the beginning part of where they're looking for life.
But my big concern about NASA right now, maybe you can answer this, is there is a talk that they're not going to be allowed to publish or continue their research on climate change. Can you speak to that?
So this is going to be off the record as a private citizen. I can't use an SSA title with it. We're fighting it. We are standing together. If you guys are not aware, I'm actually coordinator for the March for Science in Mobile, Alabama. We're marching on Earth Day, April 22nd, to bring awareness and policy change to Trump's administration, because we have that access, the right to climate change, EPA, and everything that matters to our planet.
What's that date again?
Huh?
What's that date again?
April 22nd, Earth Day.
What was the thing you said about discovering water? That's a whole other thing that comes to my mind anyway, is that we as earthlings or humans have been told we need water and sunlight and certain things to sustain life.
Yes.
I'm sure there are life forms in this universe someplace that does not need water to sustain itself. There's certainly life forms that don't need light or sun underneath our oceans. So I don't think we've really decided what's absolutely needed to sustain life, what life is. There are different forms of life in this universe that don't need what we need in order to be alive.
Yeah, but Steve, we're only interested in what we need, okay? we need water. You don't need to worry about the other thing.
Well, water is just the starting point because they know there is an underwater ocean underneath the Saturn's Europa moon. Under the icy layer, there is an ocean, so that's where they're looking for microorganisms. But water actually, for Mars, has had water, and they've discovered that it's actually good for this human colonization, that water isn't available because it actually messes with the climate, makes it very drastic changes. It can affect a lot of things. So it's kind of a weird thing how water plays into life, because although it is important for us to survive, as far as a planet, it actually can really drastically change it.
I think that we should spend effort trying to fix the place we're at before we start going around.
Okay, folks, we're running a little low on time, so we're going to try to get to everybody that's already in line, but I'm going to ask that nobody else line up. We're going to go to the young lady over here. So fast.
Hi, I'm Danielle, and originally Charleston, South Carolina, but I've been here forever, so I'm glad that you're enjoying our city.
Thank you.
My question is for the two people that are talking about ambiguous characters. As an actor, how do you develop an ambiguous character like that? Like, do you have the answers in your head for what you think is the background of those characters?
Well, I think I was going to mention that word ambiguity. It's just deliver the line. Just that we all have intent when we say something, when we think something. We have intent. And you can deliver that line and let people know. You know when somebody's angry at you. You know when someone's happy with you, etc., etc. So you try to deliver lines, and it was just blank. Just sort of a blank sort of delivery, and let you as an audience figure out what the hell did he mean. I'm sure everybody's had something said to them that you go, what the hell do they mean by that? And that's what I mean by ambiguity. Just say it and give it nothing. Try to give it nothing. That you figure out whether I'm surprised, angry, happy, etc.
Right now? It's the actor's job to bring life to the role. I mean, you get the words, and you're gonna have some sort of description handed to you by casting director, or by director, or by producer, or whoever. But it is your job to fill out the person and bring them to life, whether it's going back into their life and discovering or making up your mind as to what brought them to where they are today, or whatever. But it's your job to build it and then not show it.
And I think it makes any sense. In fact, there's another thing too. That we've got so many movies now that no longer tell stories. That the story is not important. There's so much action. You know, the CGI, what is that? Special effects. There's so many special effects now happening that we get caught up in the special effects of the film as opposed to the words and the story and what's really going on emotionally.
We're going to go to the young man over here.
Damn, I like applause when it happens.
In the theater.
First, I'd like to say thank you to all of you for coming to Pensacon today.
Yes.
That's what we all come here for. I've enjoyed watching all of you through your careers. I hate to admit it, I've not seen the X-Files. My wife says she's going to remedy that.
Sit down. I'm kidding.
I deserve that, I'm sorry. My question is actually for Mr. Davis. I'm a huge fan of the TV show Continuum. And I feel like they did a disservice to the show with the aborted 4th season. Do you feel like they could have developed the show more and taken it longer?
Simon would be the first to agree with you. Simon Garrier was the showrunner. It was a function of the studios that's all they would give them. They would only give them the 4 episodes or whatever. They took money away. We didn't even have money left for my office. So yes, they had to kind of put together a completion of the story. And I know Simon had many, many more plans for things that he would have developed if they could have kept going. So yes, I think it was to a degree a compromise. Although, personally, I welcome a finish because it's sometimes there isn't one with those kind of shows. So, but I agree. I think there was some compromise to it. Nick was also on the show.
Yeah, I think there was 8 episodes. This happens all the time. This happens all the time. You know, these shows they just get into gear and then they get the rug pulled out from underneath them, and who suffers really at the end of the day? It's the people who get caught up in the show. It's a function of at the end of the day, horribly, it's dollars and cents. It sucks.
We're going to go to this young lady over here.
Hi, this question is for Stephen and Mitch. You both were on Supernatural.
Supernatural and X-Files have like the monster of the week, and they both have like really weird stuff. So how do those experiences differ, or were they like?
Mulder and Scully were both male. Very handsome young man. No, you know, working on Supernatural. Well, for one thing, a lot of the crew on Supernatural was our crew on the X-Files. So that is like going back and working with family. Kim Manners was the showrunner of the show when I started and Jared and Jensen are two of the most amazing people that I've met. I mean, and you can see that if you see what they do for people, and it's awesome. But it was and plus it's in Vancouver, so it really was a great experience for me to work on that, and had some took me back to working on the X-Files in a lot of respects because of the crew and because of the stories and stuff like that. But it was great. It was great working on it.
I was terribly excited, as I thought the fans would be, when I showed up on the show and Mitch was there.
And did I kill you?
That knocked my socks off.
We got to beat each other up again.
Yeah. That's right, we did. We fought the both shows.
Right.
So it just excited me to be with Mitch. Quite frankly, I'm not saying this because you two guys are here. Because these are two guys that I interacted with mostly on me and William had one scene, I think, during the course of the run. He was always one of my favorite characters on the show because of the mystery of both of the characters. And I just love Mitch. I mean, I'm having a bromance with Mitch whether he likes it or not. But for me, it was just the excitement of having him on the show when I joined the show. And I thought the fans would enjoy that too, to see that, these two characters from X-Files now show up on Supernatural. So that was my excitement.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to finish with this gentleman over here.
All right. It's Adam from Fort Brooke, Alabama. But guys, just want to say, is working together on an iconic show like the X-Files that's transversed over 2 decades, made movies, over 200 episodes. How does it feel seeing it come back to a new era and a new genre style?
I'm just pissed because I'm not on it. Period.
Still bitching about being killed off.
It was too early.
It was awesome to come back and play these characters again, and stand across from David and Jillian, working with them again, and working with a lot of there were a lot of the crew some of the crew that we worked with originally, and once again in Vancouver. But it was a great experience, and there might be more.
Excited for and wish them well, because there is always that possibility of coming back, and as long as something's running, it means that we will have jobs somehow. We want to wish everybody success in this business, because that's where we work.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think you'll agree this has been a wonderful panel. Please give a big hand to the cast of X-Files. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. If you have VIP badges and you want to stay for the next panel, you're welcome to stay in the auditorium. Everybody else does need to clear. Thank you very much.